A cabin in the woods, not so remote that it cannot be reached by car in a reasonable time from the nearest town, although the road is longing for some repairs. Nor does it lack modern amenities, such as electricity and plumbing, two miracles of modern technology, so basic now as to be stripped of their acclaim. But while not entirely dilapidated, old, some paint peeling, guttering clogged, tiles in need of repair or replacement. It is night, or at least still dark close to dawn. All lights are out, but there comes from the stairs that leads to the first-story bedroom the sound of awkwardly shuffling feet, the scrape of hands on banisters, and a constantly repeated mantra under breath, heavy and laboured, a repetition of words in a raspy whisper, made so that they would not be forgotten. Words that occurred to a mind that had awoken and was impatient to put those words on paper lest they be forgotten. Outside the cabin, the woods, tall trees that rustle in the light yet sharply cold wind. Above, the stars hidden behind cloud cover. Further to the south of the cabin, the shore of a river that leads to lakes that pool at the feet of mountains, serious severe mountains that had been pushed from the planet's mantle in one of those prehistoric ruptures that were once common on this world, mountains known to the man who was muttering the words he was hastening not to forget. But the man's youth is long behind him, and now he labours to move, striving with pains small and significant, the unavoidable awards of living long enough, arthritis, sciatica, skin, fat and flesh that healed much slower from injuries than they used to. He needs glasses to navigate, but he has done so since a young age. Too much reading, too much scrutinising words on paper, a lifetime of absorbing through those now tired eyes intelligence from ages past to the most recent discoveries and news. Eyes that saw much, both in the natural world and on paper, and a brain that had absorbed much, arguably too much. He would often argue it so, more often to himself. Finally, he reaches the ground floor, and here he manages to move more easily across a flat floor instinctively towards a desk groaning under masses of books and other papers. But of all the modern amenities the man accepted, a typewriter was not among them. Instead, the large drawer of the large desk contained a large number of notebooks, their covers a variety of marbled cardboard lined with slim plastic, their pages simple lined foolscap, standard issue notebooks produced for any number of reasons. Some, a great many, his observations of the local bird life. With dutiful detail, he documents the many sizes, shapes, colours, variations, habits, locations, times and dates of what particular species of bird he would observe during his constant watching of these creatures. Many other details too, of the weather, what the trees would be doing, the movement of clouds, and many observations about the mountains, for which he had a particular reverence, which came from his many expeditions climbing these great gaunt things that embodied such an ultimate indifference to not just human but any organic life. At last he flicks on an electric light, a cheap and effective lamp sitting on the desk, as it has for some years now. Only the globes have needed to be changed over these years. He avails himself of a blank piece of foolscap and a pencil, both of which seem to have been placed there deliberately for this act of writing the words that woke him and compelled him to drag himself from his comfortable warm bed on this chilly night. The idea of the cosmos fills him with angst. The idea of the cosmos, under the stars, and the idea of the cosmos makes him feel restless. What good is it all for? Everything runs straight into nothingness. Each and every time a person's work is completed, rolls down the stone down to the foot of the mountain again. Such a day will come when those who remember me won't be remembered. Everything runs straight into nothingness. We come from an incomprehensible nothingness. We are here for a while in something that seems equally incomprehensible, and we disappear back into the incomprehensible to be nothing again. These words thus consigned to whatever posterity awaits them or not, he now affords himself some rest. He sits at his desk, leaning his head on his right hand, the rheumatism, arthritis, all playing up in his nerves, but manageable. He looks at nothing. It's too dark to see through the windows, but he can hear the slight wind compelling trees to make slight noises outside, and he thinks of the mountains, the pinnacles of mineral indifference, and merely observes the range of emotions these thoughts stir in him, in the chemical mixes in his brains that makes up his and all of our minds. It's too late to go back to sleep now. He has plans for the day, taking compost from the container for it to spread on the garden, snipping back some weeds, later taking a boat on the river to observe birds once again and record his observations in his notebooks. No point going back upstairs to bed. It will be dawn soon enough. At this age, sleep comes when it comes, and that too infrequently for desire. Instead, he lifts himself from his chair to go to the kitchen to put the kettle on.